Alright, hey, this is Hans, and it's time for the second installment of the Ramen Raider Diet. Alright, so October 18th, 2018, my doctor told me that I had high cholesterol, so I decided I was going to do something about it. And 6 months later, I went and I saw my doctor, and he told me how much weight I'd lost and all this stuff. And basically, in 6 months, I lost 65 pounds. People noticed, and so I did a video, and that was the first video. Now it's been a year, and I actually went and I visited my doctor 1 year after I started, October 18th, 2018 to October 18th, 2019. And in that time, the first 6 months I lost 65. The second 6 months, now people kept telling me, it's going to get harder. It's going to be more of, you're going to have diminished returns. You're going to plateau. I lost 67.1 pounds. So, yeah, so much for that. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm stoked. I'm feeling pretty sore. I do a lot of walking, so... Yeah, I get a lot of exercise, I'm eating better, and the more I do, of course, I'm going to be sore, but I definitely feel better. Here's me now, as you can see, and here's me, it'll say below when this is from, but I don't know, I never felt like I was that big. I mean, it's weird. It's really weird. And, yeah. So, but I mean, I'm really happy with what's going on, and I just thought I'd do another episode, the 1 year update, and let you know about what I'm doing. So, if it helps you out, cool. My doctor told me, now that you've been doing this and it's been going good, now you need to inspire people to do the same. So, here I am doing what my doctor told me yet again. So there are some weird things that go along with losing weight, I've found. So one of them was my wife and I went out on a special date night, and we went to Cheesecake Factory. Usually, I'm still getting used to this. For example, I would hate to sit in booths at restaurants, right? Because it's like your gut's going to be in the way if you're really big, and it's like embarrassing and funky. And I sat down, I was like, whoa, I have room. This is great. So that was a cool thing. However, a downside is when you go from 365 down to 232, you end up with extra skin. And it's weird. It's like, I feel like a Shar Pei, honestly. It's really strange. I mean, hopefully it'll kind of like go away a little bit. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford, nor do I really want to. I don't know. I'm a wuss when it comes to surgery. I mean, a lot of people will go and spend all this money and get all that extra skin removed. I don't know that that's something I really want to do. But I mean, I'm doing this to be healthy, not to be vain, but I don't know. If it became a problem, maybe that'd be something to look into, but it's just kind of weird, at this point. So the other thing that's strange is, since I'm doing all this walking, I'm building up my calf muscles to the point that now I need to start looking into jeans that have wider legs, because I went from size 48, these are size 32, and these are starting to get baggy, so I'm going to have to hit up size 30, which is pretty cool. I can't even think of the last time I wore size 30 pants, but I don't know where to go get pants that are wider legs. I did recently get a pair of open leg sweatpants, and those are super comfy. So I think maybe that's going to be what I'm going to have to do, because yeah, I don't like walking around and feeling like what's happening is my calves are too big, and when I walk it slowly pulls my pants down, so that's not cool. So I don't know what to do. But if you're wondering how I'm doing all this, my philosophy is, first off, I use my FitnessPal and a Fitbit. That's big. That keeps me accountable and keeps me know how active I am and what I'm doing. Okay, so one thing too, I mean, I really like Halo Top, and I just like ice cream, right? And you're probably thinking like, well, how can you lose all that weight eating ice cream? It's like, well, what I do at least is, like, at this point it says I have 1,500 calories each day, right? Well, I do a lot of walking. I do 10 to 15 miles of walking a day, and then I limit what I eat. So I end up with more than enough left over to enjoy some ice cream, to have some noodles, and I still lose weight. So it's kind of like you bank it. You start out with like the 1,500, and then, you know, usually what I'll do first thing in the morning is I'll get up at around 3:30, and I'll come out here and I'll take pictures of noodles, get stuff all ready to do today's reviews, right? Then I'll start walking and I'll do apartment laps. And apartment laps are kind of embarrassing, but they work. So during the summer, my son Miles was home, so I couldn't just leave him here. And taking him and Mimi out would be really, really hard, and probably not all that safe with my vision. And he's not able just to like chill and walk with me, you know? So I ended up doing apartment laps, and basically I walk from, well, there you go, see, look, this is what I'm doing, you know? And I start early in the morning, and I put my Bluetooth in and I listen to political news, and each time I hit one end of the apartment, or at least of the living room, I count. And so I've found that each direction is 10 steps. So if I do 100, go this way one time, go that way one time, do that 100 times, that's 1,000 steps. And if I do it 2,000 steps, that's 20,000, and that's close to 10 miles, and that's great. What I do now is, once I get done with getting everything ready for the day, I'll do a bunch of laps before I go out on the big walk. And then when I go out on a big walk, I come back and I've got even more steps than I would if I didn't. Because it's like, you know, I like to get as many steps in as I can in a week, in a day, whenever. I usually will start off by having like a Cliff Bar. I'm going to modify that. I think I'm just going to go with like a banana and some peanut butter pretty quick, because I don't know, those things have a lot of sugar in them. And I find myself doing the 3:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. schedule. I'm like getting all nap takey in the afternoon. I just don't like it. And if I had less sugar, I know that would change. So that's something I'm gonna do as soon as I'm out of Cliff Bars. They had a good sale at Costco. But yeah, I do that. I have, oh yeah, I should tell you about what I drink. So there's two things. I told you in the last one, I do these Bang energy drinks. Bang! And they've got 300 mils of caffeine and CoQ10 and creatine and blah, 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 blah. Those are great. But there's this stuff that I saw this video for, and it just made me bust up, called NO Explode. So it looks like it says no explode. My sister made a great joke. She was like, sounds like some kind of anti-diarrheal thing. I'm like, yeah, right? I mean, but what it is, I think the NO is supposed to be like nitrous oxide. Because this stuff's crazy. You gotta get it at the supplement store. But like, we got a Super Supplements. You can get it there, or the vitamin shop, or whatever it is online. But you mix a little bit of this with something. I was doing the cherry stuff with Diet Coke, and so it was like a cherry Coke. Man, there's all sorts of craziness in there, dude. It'll get you moving and stuff. And so I'll do my Cliff Bar, and then I'll do my pre-workout stuff, and then I'll take my vitamins and this and that, and I'll just start chugging in here, back and forth, and then everybody gets up, I get the stroller all ready, and we get out there, Miles gets on the bus, and me and Mimi, we're off, and come back, get home, and I've got about 12 to 15 miles that I've walked already, and we get back like around 10:30, 11 a.m. It's been great. Spending all the time with Mimi has been a lot of fun. She has a lot of fun with it. Sometimes not so much. It can get cold. If it gets too cold, we do a much shorter walk, and then I'll just do more apartment laps at home. Sometimes in the afternoon, I'll call up one of my buddies, and we'll BS, and I'll just like walk back and forth BSing with them, you know. But yeah, the Fitbit's really important, and the MyFitnessPal to keep you accountable for everything is really important too. I swear, that's like the easiest way to keep track of what your intake, what you're eating, what you're doing, all that stuff. I've gone through a few Fitbits. The first one I had, the battery just ended up crapping out on it. It was a Fitbit 1, which is the first Fitbit they came out with, and honestly, I swear by that one, that's the best. But if it shuts off while you're walking, it's really not worth a damn. The next one I had was a Fitbit Zip, and that thing was just kind of flaky. And then the next one I had was a Flex 2 that I put in an aftermarket pocket thing. I don't like the wrist thing because I'm pushing a stroller. That's not going to work very well for one of these wrist fitness trackers. But that one worked all right, but the battery just slowly just started getting last less and less. But yeah, I've got a Inspire, and that one works great. It just seems to work just fine. I just wish it would have the altimeter so you could do the how many flights of stairs you climbed. Speaking of, I've been doing all this walking, and I know they have these special things where, like down in Seattle on a certain day, you pay a certain amount and enter, and you can walk you can take the stairs on the Space Needle, take the stairs on the Columbia Tower. I want to do that because I think I can do that now, and that's crazy. But yeah, I'm up for that. That sounds like fun. Whereas like a year ago, I'd be like, if you're trying to lose weight, one thing that's important is you do have to eat. If you just don't eat, it's not going to work. I eat more than 1,500 calories a day on average, but I'm burning way more than that every day. So a lot of the time I'll come up with a net negative of calories, but I'm eating like 2,000 calories in a day. So I'm putting in, but I'm burning off. So that's a plus. I'm doing trying to get as much protein and this and that and the other thing. Protein's a tough one. There's a drink that I've been doing lately. They're kind of pricey, but I really like them. They're by a brand called Core Power, and they're Elite Chocolate. They're 42 grams of protein, and they taste really good. And I think they're about 200 calories or so. You can find them online. You know, it works. I went down to that supplement place and I got a big bucket of, what do you call it? The whey protein powder. That's not too bad of a deal. You can get I think it costs like about $1.50 to $2 for 40 grams of protein with that. But yeah, mainly I'm doing, chicken breast, things like that. I also do a lot of soup and barley. I did a new video showing what I do with that Hakubaku mochi barley, and check that out. One thing that is a lot of fun on the walks is, first off, Mimi likes to we go to Safeway. I get something to drink on the way home, but we always go by the bakery and she gets her cookies from the bakery people. And it's funny because she gets one almost every day of the week. She gets a cookie, and they're all used to her down there. And another thing we do is we listen to music, because in the stroller I've got a 25-watt Bluetooth speaker in addition to all the lighting, which is good because as it gets darker in this time of year, it's better to, you got to have visibility. And I've got like 1,500 lumens worth of angry lighting, and then I've got the speaker. I've got like 400 Christmas looking lights, but they're non-religious lights. They're not Christmas lights. They're just lights that blink. But people always call them Christmas lights, so I've gotten in the habit of doing the same. But we listen to, what do we listen to? We listen to Kraftwerk and Rush and Tobacco and Van Halen. And now she demands all the time that we listen to Chiari Pamu Pamu, Sepultura, Dick Koza, tons of other stuff. I mean, we listen to a lot of music. So, yeah, that's fun. So I'm getting her into all this different music. And she sings along to it, too. I mean, she sings along to Primus while she's going in the stroller, which is pretty rad. Another thing we have on the stroller now, as you can see here, is a dash cam. And it's really easy. I've done a lot of recordings of our walks, and it's pretty cool. So there's some right there. But yeah, still doing the mochi barley thing. That one and the chicken herb dumpling progresso soup with a little bit of curry and a little bit of fresh sliced onion. Oh man, that's grubbin'. Been doing salads lately too. My doctor told me he told me I was slightly anemic, so I figured, eat some greens. Do a lot of oatmeal, do a lot of peanut butter with oatmeal. Mimi always joins me in on that. Do a lot of fiber bars, do a lot of Halo Top. One thing that's been really hard have been shoes. There were these shoes I really liked up at Walmart in Canada. They were like $30 a pair, exchange rate, made them cheaper. And I really liked them. They were super comfy, right? But I found with the amount that I walk, they would die within like 10 days. So they were good at the beginning, but as time went on, they would just I would tear through them like nothing. So I kept trying to find more shoes, and I kept running against all these troubles with it. Finally, I found these Teva Sandals that were freaking super comfy. But the problem is that I live in Washington, so sandals don't work all that great in the rain, right? Well, I was whining and complaining about it on either YouTube or Facebook. Somewhere I was complaining and whining. And this guy named Andrew K., I'll just say that's his name. Yeah, it is. He offered to get me a pair of shoes. And I had already tried on maybe we'd gone to so many stores, and I'd tried on this pair and that pair. I went to the walking store and got a $200 pair of shoes, and luckily they let me return them, because after 6 hours of wearing them, it felt like somebody hit my right foot with a sledgehammer. I mean, it hurt. And I was like, no, I'll get more Walmart shoes. They don't make me feel that way, man. But I was like, what am I gonna do, And this guy's like, you should try these shoes. They're a company called UK Gear. They're supposed to last 1,000 miles, that I like. And they're supposed to be the most comfortable, ergonomic. They're tested out by the British military. They're UK Gear PT 1000 shoes. And he bought them for me. And that was I did not expect that. Thank you so much, man. And yeah, they're pretty darn good. They don't have a scuff on them, and they do good in wet conditions. My feet, and I read a lot about this, when you walk, you start out, your feet are kind of normal size, but when you pound your feet over and over and over, what are they going to do? They swell up a bit. So at the beginning of a walk, most shoes seem to fit fine, but towards the end, my feet swell up a bit, so I've got to loosen up the shoes. These shoes, I start out as loose as I possibly can. They kind of got a good hold on my feet, so that's not a problem, and they're not slipping or nothing. But yeah, definitely feel that. And they work out well, so I just wanted to send a big thank you for a really nice pair of shoes. So if you're thinking about going on a journey like I've done, just do it. I really, for years, I hated that stupid motto from Nike, but it's true. If you want to do something, just freaking do it. Stop talking about it. Stop whining about it. Stop waiting till you feel that you can do it. Just do it. And that's kind of what I did. You know, I didn't start out full bore though. I didn't like get burnt out in the first week, because I know a lot of people will do that. And you can't do that. If you do, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I started out doing really short walks. I think, honestly, my first walks, I was just like walking down to Safeway and back, which is really short. And then started walking around the park and ride once or so. I would think in the beginning I was getting maybe 4,000 to 6,000 steps a day. And then I started trying to get my goal, which was 7. Well, in the last 6 months, the most I think I did was 55,000 steps in one day, which I think that's about 25 miles, 23 miles. It was a lot, and I paid for it, you know, that hurt. The thing I try to do now is hit about 30,000. And people have said, oh, you can't do that. That's not sustainable. It's like, I see people on the Fitbit challenges doing that kind of stuff all the time. It's like, seems like some people can do it. It's something you really just have to work up to. And I've found that if I get to a point and all of a sudden my feet start hurting or I'm getting really sore and stuff, just back off a little bit. I was doing 30,000 steps every day, some days doing 40, and then all of a sudden I just kind of hit a wall. And so I started ratcheting it way back, got it down to 20,000 steps a day, and then doing a bunch of trying to do push-ups and crunches and stuff like that, because that is the final frontier. That's the hard part. I mean, walking and stuff, no big deal, but my gut, that core strength is really hard, and I don't want to like throw my back out and all this stuff. So it's a struggle, but I'm getting there. My gut's a lot smaller than it was. I mean, before it was much bigger. So, but yeah, it's you kind of want everything all at once, but it just doesn't work that way. You just have to keep going, and you'll eventually get to where you want to go. And that's what I'm hoping I do. So just don't feel like, you know, you're the only you can't do it. You can do what I did. If I can lose all this weight, you can. Jesus, it's really, it was fun. The way I did it has been fun, and it's rewarding. And yeah, just don't do it for somebody else. Don't do it because somebody tells you. Do it because you feel like you have to, and you need to, and you want to. And then that's it. And like I said last time, it's like you can blame all these things and stuff, like it's like, well, you know, there's too much delicious food out there, and I just can't do this, and I just can't do that. It's like, tell that voice to shut up. Own it. Beat it up. You know, kill the hippie inside you. Do it every day. All right. Well, hey, good luck to you. Thank you, everybody, for all the kind words and stuff. And yeah, hey, this has been Hans the Ramen Raider, wishing you enjoyment of your noodles every day. Have a good one. Bye.